Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Pacer Pit, located on the campus of the University of South Carolina Aiken, for tonight's soccer match between the Emmanuel Lions and your USC Aiken Pacers. Now let's meet the starters. For the visiting Emmanuel Lions, in goal, number 1, Andy Dunnett. Number 3, Naeem Johnson. Number 4, Val Evans. Number 8, Craig Russell. Number 9, Martin Mitreski. Number 11, Blair Springhall. Number 18, Sam Mutton. Joshua Smith. Number 21, Marcus Larson. Number 22, Channing Park. And number 27, Nico Becker. The head coach of the Lions is Scott Borchers, assisted by Stephen Lee. And now, let's meet the starters for your USC Aiken Pacers. In goal, number 1, Leonardo Targia. Number 2, Thomas Kretschmar. Number 3, Chris Perez. Number 6, Gregory Bennett. Number 8, Kento Ito. Number 10, Andre Simmond. Number 11, Driss Barakat. Number 12, Daniel Orlak. Number 15, Chaka Pugo. Number 18, Dave Stone. And number 25, Jorvel Tobier. USC Aiken Pacers are coached by Ike Afoji, and he is assisted by Coach Eugene Phillips. Now everybody please rise as we honor our troops and those who defend our freedom both at home and abroad with the playing of the national anthem.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Pacer Pit for tonight's live game as your USC Aiken Pacers take on the Emmanuel Lions. I'm Noel Mays, and I'm joined today by Mr. Owain Wassop. How are you doing today, Mr. Wassop?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Awesome. Perfect weather conditions for tonight's game. The Emmanuel Lions coming into the season with a 4-5-3 record. So, pretty tough team for our USC Aikens to take on today, with a similar record as the USC Aiken Pacers record is 4-7-1. And Emmanuel to set us off today.
Pacers ball.
And here we have Gregory Bennett about to take the first throw-in of the game. Deflection all the way to the goalkeeper. Here we have Oliark in the middle, very composed player. And so too is Jervel. USC Aiken missing a few starters today, Owen. As we have in front of us Roberto, who I'm not sure what the reason is, but he'll be sitting today's game out.
Minor injury. I've heard in the practice yesterday.
Okay, I think Coach Afodji might be resting him for the big game on Saturday, as that will determine, it's a final conference game of the season, and that will determine whether or not the team, how high the team will post in the PBC.
Just right.
And the higher they post is the better off they will be, as I think currently they're in 4th or 5th, and if they're able to win the game on Saturday, they might be able to be placed 3rd, and that will give them home court advantage for the first leg of the PBC conference tournament. Javel driving forward to Simmons. Simmons turns, plays the ball all the way out. And a very good sliding tackle by the number 18 for the Lions, Ed Morton. Beautiful control there by Chuck, trying eventually losing out. Ball played out, USC Aiken through. And USC Aiken Pacers playing a lot of their balls here on this right-hand side of the field. Chris Perez to bring the ball under control, launches it forward. Kenzo won't be able to get there, and it will be a throw-in for the Lions. Ball played down the flank and intercepted again by Jervel. Jervel drives forward. Still Jervel plays the ball to Aito. Aito drives inside, plays the ball to Chuck. Chuck turns, lovely ball back to the wing back, but he's offside. And the Lions will have enough time to reset. Cody, is my microphone working? Okay. Check. Check. Check.
Yeah.
Just right. Check 1.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize in the bad connection in the live feed, as my microphone went off air and I was a little bit ignorant to that. So I do apologize, but the technical difficulty has been fixed and we're up and live. And it's a free kick to the Lions on the edge of the 18-yard box on the far side. This is the first time that the Lions are threatening the USC Aiken goal. I'm not sure if they have any dead ball specialists in their camp, but this might pose a threat, but it's whipped in. And brilliant save there by the goalkeeper, and eventually cleared by Thomas. And USC Aiken will break. Chuck is out and running, and brilliantly done by Chuck. And the USC Aiken Pacers are applying a lot of pressure here in the first half of the first 10 minutes of this game. The scoreboard seems to be turned off as well, so we are not able to track the time. I do apologize for that as well. Ball launched towards half field. Dave Stone is under it, won the header, and Driz to pick up the loose ball. However, he's beaten to it by the Lions wingback, driving forward, and that will be a foul. Again, a little further out, about 30 yards out of the USC Aiken goal. USC Aiken was threatened just now by the free kick by the Lions number 12 or the Lions number 27. I'm wondering if he'll be able to threaten the goal once more. This one will be a more direct effort. USA can drive in forward with a real impetus. Ball played to Chuck. Chuck does well, turns brilliantly, and should spread the ball to Driz, but instead he goes to Dave Stone. Dave Stone drives forward again, goes past one, all the way to Simmons. Simmons cuts inside. Well, tried to cut inside. He was blocked off by the Lions defender, trying a little bit of fandangles, but brilliantly closed down. Dave Stone letting the ball run through his legs, but unable to get to Daniels. And I do apologize. It was Daniel, not Daniels, that the ball was unable to go through. And there's a throw-in on the far side for the Lions. And USC Aiken applying pressure despite having a few key players out due to injury, as we see Roberto and then the new forward in Aaron Richard, who has been brilliant so far during the season since his appearance, and Aito with a brilliant effort, well, an okay effort on goal, similar to what David Luiz scored earlier today, isn't it not? And what is your take so far on this game, Owen?
So far, it's a 60-40 game.
Throw in here to the Lions on this near side. Turning brilliantly to dismiss the US Aiken defender, but Jervel to intercept, spreads the ball to Dave Stone. Dave Stone plays it to Simmons. Simmons tries to split the defense, but intercepted. And the Lions will try to break, but intercepted again by Jervel. He's been pretty disruptive with the forward play of the Lions, not allowing them to go forward at all. And brilliant defending there by Driz to turn on the far side. Plays the ball through to Daniels, but it will eventually get to Simmons. Simmons plays the ball back outside to Driz, and Driz will drive forward. Not the fastest of wingers. He's not as fast as Missouri, but he has a dead left foot and he whips it in, but comfortable save in the end for the goalkeeper. And free play there in the middle of the field for the Lions. Will he drive it? Drives it, but over the crossbar. And that will not threaten the goalkeeper. And this game has been pretty free-flowing so far. However, no team has had a clear-cut chance on either
Dave
goal.
Stone with the touch.
And again, the ball is intercepted by the centre-backs. And Thomas will go forward. Plays the ball to Daniels, plays the ball through back to Thomas, and here we see the centre-back driving forward. And he cuts inside. Tries to spread the ball to Dave Stone, and he does so brilliantly. Dave Stone allowing the ball to run. However, he loses out to the Lions defender,
Well
but
done.
wins it back brilliantly. Drives forward, he has Driz to his right. Delaying the pass, eventually giving it to Driz, but that will go out for, no, it will not go out for a throw-in. It will actually be a throw-in for USC Aiken. And a goal kick for the Emmanuel Lions. Ball launched by the goalkeeper in Dunnet. Brilliantly headed by Daniel. Headed towards Chuck. Chuck unable to keep the ball in. However, the linesman flag has not gone up, and it will actually be a throw-in to USC Aiken. That ball seems to have gone out. However, the linesman's flag stayed down, and the ball was eventually played out by the defender for the Lions.
Long pass by Emmanuel.
And Thomas again, Thompson as well, does brilliantly at the back. A pretty composed centre-back. I think he was a midfielder. He came into USC Aiken as a midfielder and was transitioned into a centre-back by Coach Aiken, and he has been a stalwart in the back line for USC Aiken. He reminds me of an individual I played with a few years ago in Brett, who was a little bit bigger than he was, but the same tall frame and very composed, and drove forward brilliantly. Yeah, gone are the days when we would be able to experience and the goalkeeper and a little bit of, and Aita turns well, still Aita, however the ball is played out. But there was a little bit of miscommunication there between the centre midfielder in that of Jervel and Leonardo, the goalkeeper. Simmons drives forward brilliantly. Simmons pass 1, pass 2. Will he get past 3? Still Simmons. Simmons whips it in. However, Chuck is unable to get it a little bit too high.
Brilliant pass.
And he might have been offside as well if he managed to make contact with that ball. However, it's punted by the goalkeeper.
Chris with the header.
Perez with the header. Then Daniel taken down smoothly by Jervel.
Well done.
Turns in the middle of the park and is intercepted by the number 22 for the Lions, and he's driving forward in Cummins. Whips it across, but Leonard deals with it comfortable. USC Aiken now will try to break a pretty open game. However, there has been nothing dangerous so far on either part, either by the Lions or the USC Aiken Pacers. Free kick in the middle of the park, won by the number 8, as he went down under the challenge of Driz. And a brilliant effort there by the
Aiken's ball.
And that was the first real opportunity by either team. However, it was
Trevor with the header.
brilliantly done by Simmons. Simmons does try to do the nutmeg. However, the ball ricocheted along the legs of the defender. Ball eventually played out by Thompson. And I'm getting the feeling that this game will be a blowout for either team, the team that scores first. I might be mistaken, as the game is pretty open, and I guess it's all about character and who has the most depth in their squad, as mistakes are being made by both the USC Aiken Pacers and the Emmanuel Lions. And Emmanuel Lions coming into the game a little bit more than before.
Kento with the ball.
He'll drive forward. The game was pretty much dominated by the Pacers until a few minutes ago. And now the Emmanuel Lions have been attacking us relentlessly from the middle of the park, and especially through the number 3, who has been having acres of space. Ball played to Simmons. Still Simmons. Simmons loses out. And the Aiken midfield are not doing a pretty good job of retaining the ball in the middle of the park. Daniel and Simmons with Jervell had a few good combination plays. And a brilliant shot there, and Leonard to palm that to safety, and eventually cleared by Jervell. And there we see USC Aiken unable to make those combination plays that they were making earlier. The game has switched, and the Lions have been dominating the game for the past 5 minutes.
Substitutions for Aiken. You have Aaron Giuseppe and also Oliver.
Yeah, here we see Ike trying to use a little bit more speed up front, and then he's trying to secure that left side of the field. That has been causing problems for the Pacers in bringing in the number 20. And Simmons unable to roll the ball through the legs of the defender. And here we see the changes being made as expected. The left side of the field has been given a little more stability and then a little bit more speed up front rather than the power of Chuck. So Ollie, a very technical player for USC Aiken. And here we see Aaron going down the flank, still Aaron. Will he make an immediate impact? And here we see the substitutions linking up brilliantly and finding Driz. Driz takes on the ball well, but he's closed down, whips it back across, deflected, and it's a corner kick for the USC Aiken Pacers. There we see the substitutions by Iko Forge making an immediate effect or immediate impact on the game, as a little bit of stability has been given to that left side of the field for USC Aiken. Ball whipped in by Driz, and Thomas unable to take it down, and it eventually goes out for a goal kick. I suspect that both teams are tired, as this isn't the usual game by the USC Aiken Pacers. The tempo is a little bit slower, and you can see that the Lions look a little slow out there as well. I think that the season might be taking a little bit of a toll on them. Ball spreaded to Aaron. Aaron will get there, or will he not? And he does. There we see the speed of Aaron having an immediate effect as well, as USC Aiken are able to play those long balls in versus playing balls to feet, which they were doing initially. Ball launched by the goalkeeper, Jervell, wins it, taken down by Daniel. Daniel looking for an outlet, still searching, finds Thompson. Thompson plays it through the middle of the park but intercepted. Thompson gets a second chance, plays it through the space, but the ball will eventually go out for a throw-in for the Lions. And this left-hand side of the field, or this near side of the field, has seen most of the action during the course of this match. The right-hand side has barely seen the ball, as the number 3 is a very dangerous player for the Lions, as he has gotten several balls and he has driven to the line and whipped some square ins. They have not been able to reap the fruits of any of those squares. However, as you can see, it might just be a matter of time before something happens. Ball collected by the goalkeeper Leonardo, plays it out to Ollie. And here we see Aaron is down. I didn't see the hit that was made, but the trainer is on very quickly to his aid to find out what exactly is the issue with Aaron. Hopefully he'll be okay. It's not the best thing to see a player go down. You don't want to see these players hurt. And he's back to his feet with his own support. Oh, I think he seems to have gotten a knock in a very unfriendly place. But he'll be alright. He'll be able to run that off. Yeah, we have all gotten a knock or two in that area, and it's very discomforting. But he'll be okay eventually. Ball played over. Giuseppe wins the header, but the forward in Aaron that should be there is currently absent temporarily. Brilliantly done there by Daniels. And ball won by Simmons. Simmons turns well. Will he find Giuseppe? Trying to find an outlet. Still Simmons. Plays the ball to Driz. Driz. Ball comes back to Ollie. And there we see the technicality of Ollie coming into play. Very technical player, very composed, as the British players usually are. And here we see Aaron back to his feet and making his re-entry. A little bit of miscommunication there between the linesman and the referee, as they signaled, one signaled Aaron to go on, the other signaled him to get off, but clarified. Good ball in there by the Lions. Ball driven in, and then a long shot that will not threaten the goalkeeper in Leonardo. And this game is just a matter of who will be able to settle the game and dictate the pace of the game in going forward. Brilliantly done there by Giuseppe, and eventually fouled. Thomas to drive this ball forward. Thomas drives it in, and that one should be comfortable for the goalkeeper, and he collects it calmly. Looks for an outlet, drives it towards the far side of the field. Ollie is under it, gets there brilliantly, and the ball will be picked up by the Lions. However, the header was intercepted by Dave Stone. Driz driving forward, still Driz, and the ball is eventually played out for a throw-in on the far side. Ball played into Simmons. Simmons with not his usual pass to Driz, and the ball eventually went out for a goal kick. Done it to launch this one forward. Does so all the way to half field. Simmons win the header, and then the centre back in that of Mutton intercepts brilliantly, played it forward, and this number 3 for the Lions is proven to be a pretty big handful for USC Aiken Pacers, and Daniels unable to get through there.
Bennett with the win.
And I think Ollie was trying to pass the ball to me just now, but we're former players. We're no longer on the team. And Naheem Johnson has been pretty much of a handful for the USC Aiken backline, even though tactical changes has been made by Ike Ofoje. He is still dominating this near side of the field and giving the USC Aiken Pacers a handful. Taken down brilliantly back to the thrower, whipped in, that's deflected and will go out for a corner kick for the Lions. And the Lions applying pressure again. And we have seen them threaten the goalkeeper with that free kick earlier. I'm wondering if they'll be able to threaten the goalkeeper again with this corner kick. And the ball will be whipped in. Whipped in towards the fast post, and that's a brilliant corner kick, and the header not up to par with that corner kick, as that was a brilliant corner kick by the Lions. However, the header went high and wide. And here we see Ollie trying to give a little bit of motivation verbally to his team, as he's the only person that we're hearing. Daniels take down brilliantly back to Simmons. Simmons plays the ball to Ollie. Ollie drives it forward towards Aaron. Aaron unable to get there before the center back does. Jervel, the midfielders finding that combination play between Daniel, Jervel, and Daniel. Ball played to Thomas. Thomas opens up and he drives the ball forward looking for Aaron. Ball headed out and then cleared by Johnson. Thomas intercepts and he'll drive forward. Still Thomas. Thomas driving forward, plays the ball to Simmons. Simmons flicks the ball and is fouled by in the middle of the park. Free kick to USC Aiken. I'm wondering if Simmons will drive this ball directly to goal or it will be a set play. It looks to be a little bit too far out, but nonetheless, he does have that spark of magic. And with his run-up, I suppose that he will be going for the set play. Ball whipped in by Simmons and cleared by the Lions defender brilliantly. Ollie to take it down, plays the ball back to Thomas. Thomas, calm, plays the ball back to Simmons. Simmons being pressured, plays the ball to Jervel. Ball cleared. Thomas is under it, wins the ball brilliantly, and that ball will beat the defender. Giuseppe heads the ball on brilliantly for Aaron. Still Aaron, beats one, looking for a pass. Simmons eventually coming up. Brilliant 1-2 play, but the pass isn't there for Simmons to receive the pass back from Giuseppe, but it was a brilliant intention. Yeah, the right side of the field isn't really being utilized though, Owen.
Yeah, which is right.
As normally they'll be utilizing that right hand side. The ball flicked over to Simmons. Simmons cuts it back and over hits it. Giuseppe is under it, does beautifully to take it down. Still Giuseppe trying to whip the ball in. Giuseppe can't go by his defender, eventually tries to whip it in. And Bennett will try as well, but both balls are deflected. Daniel is under it. Still Daniel. And the ball is too high and the goalkeeper will be the favorite towards that goal. The flick on tried by Driz, but that will be unable to go in the back of the net. And a lot of subs being made here by the Lions. A total of 5 substitutions being made. And this is a big tactical change by the head coach of the Lions in Scott Borchers. I think he realized that the tempo has dropped a little and he wants to maintain it, so that's the reason for the 5 substitutions just made. And we saw Iko Fudge making 3 earlier. Both coaches trying to get a foothold on this game.
Aiken's ball.
As we see Iko Fudge standing, not something that we'll usually see. He usually sits in his chair, hence the reason for the nickname Chief. Ball throw to Daniel, taken down brilliantly, played back to Bennett. Bennett launches it forward. Daniel does brilliantly to get rid of his defenders.
And he turns
but
again.
The number 15 still sticks with him. And eventually the Lions will break, but the ball was played out of play. If that ball had stayed in play, that was a brilliant chance for a counter-attack.
Good pressure by Bennett.
Bennett trying to turn, unable to do so, but the ball back to Daniel. Daniel will find Jervell. Jervell turns brilliantly, opens up to Ollie. Ollie plays the ball back to Jervell. Jervell plays the ball to Thomas, and USC Aiken now
they look pretty comfortable.
Settling the game a little. Aaron, ball flicked on for Aaron, but he won't be favored to that. He's pretty fast, but not fast enough to get there before the goalkeeper, who was always the favorite. And the ball having a few bounces before Dave Stone clears it.
Jervell with the ball.
Jervell looking for Aaron, played over, but the ball is intercepted and played out by the centre back for the Lions. The Lions have been pretty solid here at the back, as USC Aiken have been unable to penetrate them so far during this game. Throwing on the far side to USC Aiken. It's pretty unusual for this game, for the ball to be on that side during the course of action that this game has taken so far. Dave Stone to take the throw-in. Throw-in to Driz. Driz tries to turn, but the ball will go out, and it will be another corner kick for the USC Aiken Pacers. And Simmons to take this one, and it will be taken short actually. Simmons tries to whip it in, but it's deflected off the defender, and it will go for another corner kick. Here we see Thomas on the near post. They might go for the near post flick on, or they might go directly to the back post, and it is the flick on, but the ball is unable to. The ball wasn't high enough there for Thomas, who was unable to get his head to it, and the ball was deflected out by off him. Giuseppe does well, plays the ball in the air. And here we see a little bit of ping pong ball being played, but that's a dangerous ball on the far side. And Stone will keep it into play. Stone drives it forward, but that will be the Lions who will calm that ball down, float it back into the middle of the park.
Jervell.
And Jervell does well, but loses out to the number 2, drives a shot, and eventually cleared off Ollie. I suspect that that ball did ricochet off the hand of Ollie.
I believe so.
The referee recognized that his hand was in a natural position and did not award the free kick, but we see those given sometimes and others not given. It all depends on the referee's discretion. Lions to calm this one down on the far side. Ball whipped in, only as far as Thomas. Thomas clears, but again the Lions will drive forward. And Ollie, a slight foul there given to the USC Aiken Pacers, as Ollie tried to dismiss his attacker and lost out. There's nothing in that as far as I could see, but the referee awarded the foul to the USC Aiken Pacers. They got bailed out just now, as they might have had an opportunity there, the Lions. Header won by the Lions comfortably. And we see the Lions winning several second balls. A brilliant try to float the ball to the far post. However, and that's pretty odd. That foul was not given. I'm not sure if the referee played the advantage or not, but that ball was calmly in the hands of Leonardo and he was knocked by the forward and the foul was not given.
Aiken's ball, here we go.
Very contradicting those plays. The first foul given to USC Aiken, that Ollie got, I didn't see as a foul, as the referee bailed out the USC Aiken Pacers by awarding that free kick. But just now, that free kick that the USC Aiken Pacers should have gotten, they did not receive. Maybe it was fair advantage that he played. I'm not sure what goes through the referee's mind, but that might have been it. Ball tried to play into Driz, deflected towards the line and eventually cleared. And everyone seems to be having their fair share of opportunities here with attacking as it's back and forth. Ball thrown into Simmons by Stone. Simmons plays it back to Stone. Stone towards Simmons again. Simmons turns, flicks the ball to Driz, and Driz drives inside but loses out to his defender. Got it back, and Driz there with a little bit of selfish play. Should have given the ball there to Daniel. If he had given the ball to Daniel on the top of the 18-yard box, that would have been and brilliant defending there by Dave Stone. No foul in that at all. Jervell does brilliantly to keep the ball and eventually is fouled. And the weather has changed drastically as the sun has disappeared, and as we await the moon, the coldness comes. Driz back to Stone, but not the best of passes. And the ball is deflected out on that far side, throw into the Lions. The Lions are a pretty good team, especially with their right side, which seems to be their stronger side. It seems to be the side that they favor on the attack. And here we see the captain making his way to the bench, and the number 13 making his way to the field in Michael William Jr. Jervell wins the ball in the middle, plays the ball to Stone. Stone does well to retain possession, tries to play the ball back to Jervell, but the pass wasn't the best. Daniel under it, plays the ball to Jervell. Jervell doing well to settle the ball game for the Pacers. Aaron turns, tries to play the ball through to Driz. Driz does well, but falls to the ground. Still Driz plays the ball to Daniel. Daniel will let rip, and that one will float wide.
Well done, good try.
That one will not threaten the goalkeeper. And as we browse the stands, we see several former players of USC Aiken, both men's and women's. Ball floated brilliantly to Driz. Driz waits on Stone. Stone overlaps. He bypasses Stone. Still Driz. Driz, still Driz. Still Driz. Cuts in. Plays the ball to Stone. Stone does well. Should give the ball to Jervell. Does not. And USC Aiken there delaying several passes rather than making the passes early, making the ball. That's a foul throw there by Dave Stone, but not given by the referee. Might not have seen it between himself and the linesman. And Thomas does well. Beats his defender. Plays the ball to, does well, plays the ball to Aaron. Aaron back to him. He tries to drive the ball to Andre Simmons, who was in acres of space, but the ball was brilliantly defended by the Lions defense.
Well done.
And the ball tried to be driven. There we see USC Aiken not making the simpler passes. Taken down by Aaron, plays the ball to Simmons. Simmons lets rip, and that'll be a comfortable save for the man between the pipes for the Emmanuel Lions. And there we see Ike shouting to his center forward, telling him to drive to goal rather than pass the ball back. So he's telling him to play a little bit selfish, as his job is to put the ball between the pipes to get the better of the goalkeeper in that of Duckett for the Emmanuel Lions, who has been brilliant so far but has not been threatened that much. Throwing to USC Aiken there on the far side. Stone bypass one defender, and Simmons on the attack whips it in. Ball deflected again, and the ball cannot reach inside the 18-yard box. Simmons wins the ball back, and a miscommunication there. Driz under it, still Driz. Driz tries, but ball deflected. Ball to Daniel. Daniel, will he get the flick in? No, he will not.
Unlucky.
Oh, and a brilliant recovery there by the number 18 for Emmanuel Lions in Mutton. And they will break forward.
Offside?
And offside called on number 23. The ball was delayed just a slight bit. And brilliantly done by the Pacers to get that ball back. Free kick taken short, but Thomas was not ready for it, and they eventually lost out. Ball to Giuseppe. Giuseppe turns well. Still Giuseppe. And plays the ball brilliantly to Stone. Stone should drive forward. If he continues his drive and Driz stays wide, then he'll have that outlet. He goes inside instead and tries to go outside to Driz. That reminds me of Rodrigo, who was pretty good at that. Goncalves, he would drive forward with the ball and he'd force the defender to commit. If he does, then he'd play the ball out wide, and if he doesn't, then he'll continue his drive. Very skilled. He was actually a midfielder as well. A lot of midfielders have been converted by Aikofoje to being a part of that back line. Brilliantly won to Aaron. Aaron turns. Still Aaron. Tries to play the ball to Driz. And the direct passes that are being made shouldn't by the USC Aiken Pacers. They're overlooking their midfield for the most part. Thomas giving his defender a little bit too much time, and that's a brilliant effort. And that was a chance you would say that was wasted by the Lions. Emmanuel Lions should definitely be 1-0 up. That was good play by the Lions to get into the 18-yard box of USC Aiken. The only thing that was missing was the strike to match that build-up play, and the USC Aiken would be 1-0 down. However, fortunately for the Pacers, that went over the bar. Giuseppe to Aaron. Aaron brings it down. Turns to Daniel. Daniel looks up, looks for his pass, eventually plays it to Ollie. Ollie back to Simmons. Simmons to Stone. Stone opens up, drives forward, still Stone. And that's a drive, and that's the pass that would see Goncalves make several times. Driz cuts in, and eventually crosses it, but the cross is not threatening, goes directly to the goalkeeper. And we see the jackets and the blankets coming out over the far side of the field. Dave Stone losing out, but doing well to recover the pass. Brilliant ball to Aaron. Aaron goes in, and will he get in? And still Aaron, and plays the ball across the face of the goal. But Giuseppe was in the right place at the right time, but not at the right time. As if he had delayed his run by a second, that would be an easy tap-in for Giuseppe as the ball rolled across the face of the goal. I suspect that he thought Aaron would have went for goal. But there we see two efforts by the Lions and the Pacers going unconverted. Simmons, still Simmons, plays the ball to Stone. Stone whips it in, and it's over the goalkeeper's head, and oh, it shaves the net. As the goalkeeper might have been caught out. That would have been something like that of Hurricanes. A square turned into a goal, and that would have been the first goal by Dave Stone. I'm not sure if he has ever scored a goal for USC Aiken, but that would be one that the senior for USC Aiken would definitely remember. Aaron does well to give it to Giuseppe. Giuseppe tries to play it back to Aaron, but the ball is deflected. And here we see the Pacers doing a little bit of pressure. Daniels. And we've reached halftime here, folks, at the Pacer Pit. Still 0-0 between yours truly, the USC Aiken Pacers, and the Emmanuel Lions. It's been a very good game so far. The game has been on and off as both teams have been switched on and off like that of the light switch. But so far we have seen two clear-cut opportunities for both teams to convert, as it could easily have been 1-1. However, it's still 0-0. Both keepers protecting that clean sheet. And we'll be right back in 15 minutes, folks. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. And you will be able to grab a snack within that 15 minutes and something to drink. We'll be right back. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to live broadcast of the game between USC Aiken Pacers and the Emmanuel Lions. Chuck doing well there. Both himself and the defender not anticipating that bounce, and the bounce got the better of the two of them. Daniel, who has been pretty calm in the middle of the park, plays the ball back to Thomas. Thomas looks up, sees Jervel, plays the ball to Jervel, and a little bit of change being made by Aiko Foje. The ball coming.
Dave Stone with the throw in.
There we see the trainer in Clariso with that brilliant control.
Well done by Dave Stone.
Drives forward, plays the ball to Driz. Driz whips it in. Low and hard, bounces awkwardly, and the defender eventually dealing with it. Brilliant turn there by, not on the save wavelength there. And this Aaron is a very tricky player. Aaron and Chuck with good link-up play. Ball to Driz. And USC Aiken playing the ball inside the 18-yard box. Dave Stone with the shot, and Dave Stone's shot is saved by the goalkeeper. Straight to him, but with a lot of pace. All he had to do there was pick his spot, but that was a brilliant effort by, Dave Stone. A brilliant save there by the goalkeeper.
USC Aiken starting the second half well.
Chuck turns brilliantly. Chuck plays the ball to Andre Simmons. Simmons floats it in, and Aaron turns. And a brilliant cut there, and that could have been given as handball, but that, my friends, 9 out of 10 times should not be given as a handball. And there we see off to the run-in is Jervel, and the number 22 for the Lions in Channing Park. Both of them being beaten by the length of the field as the ball went out before they were able to get to it. Thomas turns, looks up, sees Jervel, plays it to him. Jervel, with acres of space in the defensive third, plays it to Simmons. Simmons gives him back. He looks up, sees Dave Stone. Stone tries to play the ball down the line, still Stone. The ball goes out for a throw-in for USC Aiken Pacers. Stone waits for Chuck, throws the ball to Chuck. Chuck turns brilliantly, but unable to keep the ball close enough to him. Beaten to it by the defender who clears. And there we see a free kick given to the Emmanuel Lions. Pretty soft foul, but a foul nonetheless. We have seen how deadly this team could be with the set pieces. Ball floated in brilliantly, and Leonard will get there. And the referee isn't protecting the goalkeeper as much as he should. That's the second time. They have all the right, and I agree with the players. Being a center forward, you would want to go and attack that ball, and most of the times you won't be aware of the goalkeeper coming. However, if the goalkeeper catches the ball with his hands, he should not be touched, as he's pretty vulnerable. Andre Simmons trying to have a little fancy nutmeg and losing out in the middle of the park. We have seen that several times, and a fortunate handball given to USC Aiken Pacers, as that was a through ball given to the center forward for Emmanuel, the Emmanuel Lions, who would have been in on goal. Thomas plays it short, and USC Aiken will go forward again, this time on the far side. Turns in. Daniel plays a beautiful ball in, and it's eventually cleared. Thomas almost beaten by the bounce of the ball there, and the ball goes out, throwing for the Lions. And we've seen USC Aiken with a bright start here to the second half, as they have been attacking on the right side, something they usually do, but for some reason the first half saw them consistently going down the left-hand side of the field. However, we see that change of play has caused an increase in going forward by the Pacers. Brilliant switch there, but Dave Stone will intercept and heads the ball comfortably back to his goalkeeper. And USC Aiken finding a lot of space here in this second half, something that the Lions weren't giving them in the first. Brilliant ball play to Chuck, but that's way too hard by Bennett. Not even Usain Bolt will be able to get on the end of that one. And we see Owen, well, you guys aren't able to see, but Owen Wassop with a lot of verbal language as he nods his head.
Warsap, thank you very much.
And I apologize for crucifying your name with my pronunciation. Chuck brilliantly heads on to Driz. Driz should drive forward, delays, tries to stop and go, goes by his defender, but the defender is very strong. And the ball is eventually won by the Lions. Brilliant defending by the defender of the Lions, not giving that foul away to Driz. And Jervell with a brilliant defensive header. Daniel beaten, tries to recover but unable to do so. Skipped by Daniel, was a number 11. Bennett on the far side with his defender. And we see the Lions with their fair share of attacking. And what is Aaron doing there? But he plays a beautiful ball to Simmons. Simmons flicks it on to Driz. And it's 4 against 2 for USC Aiken Pacers. Plays the ball to Simmons. Simmons. And he tries a shot. And brilliant defending by the number 5 to get back. And I get the feeling if the ball had fallen there to Aaron, he would have cut the ball back rather than go for the direct shot. A pretty composed center forward. But Simmons, seeing the opportunity, went for the chance at first glimpse. Driz to drive this one in. Drives it in brilliantly and punched away by the goalkeeper. Driz on the end of it. Plays the ball to Daniels. Daniels on the edge of the 18. Plays the ball to Thomas. Still Thomas. Plays the ball to Driz. Driz, he's onside. Has a brilliant left foot. Plays the ball back and Chuck goes over the bar. Too high. As the aim was to go underneath the bar, but Chuck decided to go over. And it's still 0-0 here at the Pacer Pit. The USC Aiken Pacers are applying a lot of pressure here on the Lions. The Lions haven't gotten their foot on the ground, the foot on the pedal yet in this second half, as they're getting beaten to most of the balls by the Pacers. Throw into the Lions. The number 11 though has been playing brilliantly all game. Since the start of the second half, Stone with a good defensive header, and the counter-attack again is on for the Pacers. Driz acres of space, looks for Simmons, still Driz driving, and a brilliant sliding challenge by the number 27 for the Lions. The number 11 dictating the pace, back to the number 27, but USC Aiken will get there first, and safe defending there by USC Aiken, playing the ball for a throw-in. Could have shielded the ball out with his superior physique, but decided to play as safely as possible and play the ball for a throw-in. And the Lions have their throw-in deep in the defensive third of USC Aiken Pacers' half of the field. Throw-in. And brilliant defending there by Dave Stone again. And the cross in, but there's nobody there for the Lions. It's just a man in burgundy, and USC Aiken tries to lead the charge with that counter-attack by playing the ball to Aaron from Bennett, but the ball was unable to get to him. And this game is beginning to open up again, a little bit as much as the first half. Simmons loses out. And the field, and here we see USC Aiken not spreading the ball at first chance, playing the ball, insisting to play the ball on one side. Stone here on the near side, looking for a pass, still Stone. Jervell with the header. He was always going to win that aerial challenge with at least a foot on his opponent. But we've seen where short players have managed to win headers. And a brilliant strike there by the number 11, who has been the most impressive for the Emmanuel Lions. Dave Stone should drive forward, delay the pass, and then play the ball through now. However, he still delays, plays the ball to Driz. Driz to Simmons. Simmons looks up, tries to find Aaron, and the ball is deflected, but Chuck is under it. Unable to bring it down, but Chuck, very hard-working individual. Even though his touch had failed him, he worked hard to retain possession back for the Pacers, and the ball is cleared for a throw-in for the USC Aiken Pacers at the halfway line. Bennett to take the throw. And this game now is just lacking a goal, as the intensity has intensified. As USC Aiken have been applying the pressure, Simmons wins it. Should play the ball to Stone, instead goes for Driz. Stone crowding it, should not. Ball floated in by Driz, and a header that went over the bar was never threatening to the goalkeeper, but could have gone elsewhere. It could have been a very harmful header by the defender, who tried to flip the ball away from his goal and did so, but however it went for a corner kick. Driz to whip the ball in. Whips the ball in high, and the ball is eventually cleared. And a free kick given, not seeing much there, but the free kick given nonetheless to the USC Aiken Pacers. Jervell playing the ball long again to Driz rather than playing the ball to Stone. Ball will bounce. Defender does very well. And Stone does well to keep it into play, and Aaron gets under it and does beautifully there. Driz should have given him back the ball, but did not. Simmons tries to play the ball on the ground to a side, but a weak effort in the long run by Simmons. Ball launched over the halfway line. Bennett doesn't get there. Thomas is beaten by it, and driving inside the 18-yard box was the number 22 again, but the ball was played out by Thomas for a corner kick. And these are the things that USC Aiken don't want to give away, these set plays, as the Lions have been threatening their goal with these set plays from the start of the game. Save the number. Very good defensive header there by the Lions. And advantage played there, but the advantage was lost, so the referee called the ball back. And the Lions with a free kick on the edge of the 18-yard box. Aaron is under it and unable to keep it in, but the ball was deflected out for a throw-in to the Pacers. Giuseppe turns brilliantly on the far side, spreads it towards Simmons, but he'll be beaten for height. Does well to stay under it, and still Simmons juggling with the ball. Still Simmons trying to drive forward, unable to go through that many yellow shirts, as they were swarming him like bees in their yellow and black. And here comes the yellow and black Swarm leading the Chargers, the number 22 on the far side, has been a handful as well, taking up the mantle that the number 3 left in Johnson. A brilliant ball back to him, and it's cut back towards the 6-yard box. It should have been cut back towards the penalty spot. However, that was a bad decision there. The run was excellent, but the final touch or the final pass was not the best, and that's the reason why they were unable to convert or even threaten the goal of the Pacers. Ball played towards Jervell. Jervell under it. Plays the ball, but straight to a man in black and white. Black and yellow. Brilliant ball by the number 11. Goes back for it, and a brilliant run. And equally impressive was Leo in the pipe between the pipes for USC Aiken, reading that run. That was a brilliant run by the number 11 of the Lions. Brilliant ball there by Stone to Chuck, and Chuck muscling, still muscling. Ball played back to Daniel on the edge of the 18. Still Daniel plays the ball to Giuseppe. Giuseppe to Simmons. Simmons, will he fancy a shot? He does, but it will. That was always going high, and will not threaten the goal of the Emmanuel Lions. And would like to give a shout out to Cody Hancock as well as Brent Hager, as we're having technical difficulties with the camera, and Cody's right on it. Or you guys can't see actually, so now we're back up and running thanks to Cody. And we do apologize here at the Pacer Pit for the little glitch in the feed. Ball taken down by the 11. He does fancy a shot, and a brilliant one, but brilliantly saved. If that was scrambled as well, the number 9 would have pounced upon it. It would have been an easy tap in, and the Lions have been holding their own in the last 5 minutes, as they have had the much better play during the course of this game. Simmons opens up, plays the ball to Jervell, and there we see the ball taking a time to get to Stone, but it does. Stone cuts it back, looking for an outlet. Still Stone, plays the ball to Driz. Still Driz. Driz turns well, should play the ball back to Stone. He gets through traffic, and he whips a shot to the far post, but that was always curling a little bit late. Ball launched to half field, and the number 11 does brilliantly to retain possession. Plays a brilliant ball in, and it's a penalty for sure. And the number 21 winning a penalty there for the Emmanuel Lions. Brilliant play there by the number 7 to play the number 21 in. And here we see the opportunity of opportunities being given to the Emmanuel Lions. And now it's a guess to see which side he will go, either the right or the left or he could pull off a Zidane and go direct down the middle. Here we see both teams banking on one player, one on the kicker and the other on the goalkeeper. And the whistle has blown. He steps up. Slow run up, slots it to the right and high, and in the back of the net it goes. And it's 1-0 here at the Pacer Pit. And here we see a change being made by the Pacers. And a corner kick given to the USC Aiken Pacers. Driz goes over to take it. Whipped in, a brilliant corner kick, and it bypasses all the heads of those that are in yellow and those who are in burgundy. Carl Pretty. And here we hear the passion of Ollie on the bench for USC Aiken, as there's no verbal communication on the field for USC Aiken Pacers. And with that deadly set play is the Emmanuel Lands whipped in, not equally as impressive as it usually is. That's offside, but not given.
Aiken with the ball. Bennett. Another foul against Aiken. Lions set up to cross the ball.
Three backside, three backside.
Here it goes. Well done, keeper.
Good, Leo. Step up.
Wonderful tackle by Dave Stone as he plays Andre the ball.
Andre, turn. No turn.
And the game starts to get heated.
Three, done it. Three, three.
Lions ball has a nicely played. Corner for Lions. Nico goes to take the corner.
Let's get out.
Quickly punched out by the keeper. Lions foul. Aiken's ball. Andre has just with the ball as he cuts in. Crosses. Trace with the ball again. Tomas. And Lions has the ball. Yannick Kervin has Lions ball. Nico takes the throw. Good touch by the 23. Minutes left. Bad call by the ref. Lions ball. Head on by Lions. Lions has the ball, dribbling forward, dribbling. He beats one. Good through pass. Offside Lions. Aiken's ball.
Long goal kick there taken by Leo. And I believe that we have just over 10 minutes remaining in this game with the corner kick by Driz. Driz whips it in. Ball deflected and Simmons will collect. Simmons plays it back to Jervel. Jervel should spread his wings and he won't fly away. And Jervel definitely will receive a yellow card for his actions, delaying the play for... Oh, sorry, Cody. And there we see Cody again to the rescue as we had a brief interruption there.